my fifth graders. We are going to do one of my favorite projects and what I think most of my fifth graders report as one of their top 3 projects from kindergarten to fifth. So it's called Zentangle. And Zentangle is a way of creating an amazing drawing, but it's a meditative drawing. So some of you might be like, nope, not into it, and that is okay. Just kind of go along with us. I think you will find that something is here for you. And if you're kind of like, I feel super stressed, distance learning is hard, everything is tough right now, it's the end of the trimester or the beginning of the trimester, you might really need this. So bear with me, give this a chance, okay? And it's really actually pretty easy, and the results are amazing. You can do Zentangle on just about anything, and I encourage you to be creative. I encourage you to. It is important, though, that you follow the directions and the steps, especially in the beginning when you're getting the hang of it, okay? So all we're going to create today is something like this, and you're going to save it because we're going to continue working on it. So all those kids that are losing things every month, start saving your work, okay? And you just need paper. It doesn't have to be white. It should be light enough for you to see. Markers that are not all dried up, markers that are going to work for a long time. Save them for next month too, because you're going to need the same markers together, but keep your paper and your markers in a secret place where no one in your family can take it. And then you'll need a pencil just for the very beginning, but everything you're going to do is in marker, so you're going to just put your mark out there and it's going to be there. You can't take it back. So it's going to be a little uncomfortable, but maybe exciting, and we're really going to flex our problem-solving creativity muscles today. Okay, so I just want to also share this. This is something that one of my past students created, and we're not going to have time to create this in 30 minutes a month, but pretty amazing. These are all different Zentangle patterns, and I don't see the ones that we're going to create today, but we're going to pick 2, and I included slides that you can look at and follow along, and I'm also going to show you how to do it in the video. And there's an extra bonus video as well, and if you want to, watch that. It's going to give you some background on this, but I just can't pump all of this stuff into a video in a 30-minute lesson. It's just too much. But I don't want to hold you back from knowing this stuff. And then next Wednesday, I'll post some more videos for our reminder message. So feel free to look at those videos and be inspired. Or just research this. Like, look it up, Zentangle. It's pretty cool. I think you're going to like it. Okay, now's the weird part. I want you to find a way to kind of zen out. So if you need to get some books or a box, put it under your feet so that your feet are flat. If your feet are touching the floor, that's great. If not, then just have something that you can put your feet on. So make sure your feet are flat. Make sure that your shoulders are relaxed. Make sure that your head is relaxed. Your jaw is relaxed. Take some deep breaths, hold them and let them out slowly, okay? Give it a chance. Turn on some soft music. I included some options in the video too. The Calm app, there's some stations on Pandora, there's some stations on Amazon Music. I'm sure iHeartRadio has some free stuff too. So it's not something I'm expecting you to have, but calm music really helps us to settle. You know, we always play it in my classroom. So get your body into a space of calm, okay? Gather your materials, paper, pencil, and markers, and we're gonna make something really amazing. So let's get started. All right, for this lesson, we are going to focus on 2 principles of design. The principle of unity, as well as the principle of variety. And we are going to create an incredible meditative drawing. The meditative drawing we're going to create is called a Zentangle. And Zentangles are pictures that are created by making many patterns, intricate patterns, using lines, shapes, and sometimes colors. And as you can see, these pictures are incredible. And they're created by following a very simple formula and specific steps to create each of the designs in a way that you are also meditating. So let's talk about unity. This is when separate parts of or elements of an artwork are tied together. So as you can see, these two artworks are very, very unified. They're working well together. You can create unity by repeating a color, lines, shapes, or other elements throughout an artwork. Let's look at the black and white picture. How is that unified, and how are the sneakers unified? What's repeated all around both of these pictures to tie it all together? Well, in the black and white picture, we have the two same colors repeated all around, black and white. If it was created with 7 different colors, it might not necessarily be unified. And we have lots of curving round lines. Here we have concentric circles, which remind us of spirals. And up here we have 2 different kinds of spirals. Woven in between, we see more of those white curved lines. Looking at the sneakers, we have the same colors repeated all over the sneakers with those beautiful black thick and thin lines, which are tying it together. And if you look very carefully, you can pick out some of the same patterns on each of the shoes. Variety. This is when there are many different elements in an artwork. Let's take a look at the pictures next to us. You can create variety by using many different colors, lines, shapes, and other elements throughout an artwork. Which of these pictures has more variety? Which has more different things happening? Of course, it's the one on the left. There are so many different patterns in this picture, which gives it variety, and yet it's unified because the same colors are being used throughout the work, and we see the same curved lines, and I'm seeing a lot of lines that are repeated in series of 3s, like over here we have lots of lines in 3s, and here we have lines in 3s, and also in this stripe down here we have lines in 3s. That repetition ties it all together. And the variety is because we have so much happening. So when we create a Zentangle, we follow a very specific order of steps. It is not the case where you just create a pattern that you came up with on your own. We are going to follow very, very specific steps that were created by artists. So the very first step would be to create that circle. Next, you would add the 2 curving lines, and then you would continue adding the lines until you have created your design that fills the entire space. Easy. Well, some of them are easy, and as you'll see, some of them will become more challenging. Pro tips. In order to meditate, it is important to try to quiet your mind and body. Make sure you're in a comfortable place. Make sure you're sitting with your feet flat on the ground. Make sure you relax your shoulders, relax your jaw, and just make sure that you are in a quiet place and won't get interrupted. I know it's difficult at home, but make an effort to try to have that happen. Maybe put some headphones on so that no one will interrupt you. I suggest playing meditative music. In our classroom, that's what we would be doing. If you don't have meditative music, try the Calm app. You can get it on your computer or on your phone, or you can use Pandora stations, and I specifically in our classroom use Spa Radio and Calm Meditation. Breathe deeply. Breathe in and then hold your breath, and then breathe out for 1 extra count. So if you breathe in for 5 seconds, hold your breath for 5 seconds and breathe out for 6 seconds. You want to breathe out the negative energy when you are breathing. So that extra second of breath is just pushing out anything that's stressful inside your body. Now I know that this sounds crazy. Just be open to the process. This unit has been so relaxing for so many 5th graders, and I know that this can be very, very productive for you as well. Don't knock it till you try it. At the very least, if you don't meditate, I think you guys are going to be creating some pretty amazing artwork. So let's get started. For this assignment, you'll need a piece of paper. It can be any kind of paper as long as it's light, and it can be a cut up piece of paper back. You should get a pencil, maybe with an eraser, and some markers. So nothing too thick and something that will last a really long time. And when you're picking colors, pick colors that go well together and that you will repeat throughout your whole picture to create unity. So think about your color scheme. So the first thing we need to do in order to create our Zentangle is to break up our big piece of paper into several large spaces. Your spaces should be at the size of or slightly bigger than your fist. Not your hand, your fist. So if you are creating too many spaces, they will be too small, and if you don't create enough, they'll be too big. So a good rule of thumb is the size of your fist. So using any type of lines, very lightly, break up your space. You can use straight lines, you can use curved lines, but break up your space into some fairly large spaces. And your line should go to the edge of the paper. Okay, so we're not going to use the pencil anymore. So my pencil is going away. The rest of the project is going to be done with marker. If you make a mistake, you will not be able to erase it with marker, and that is okay. So we are going to take mistakes and use them as creative problem-solving challenges. So just go with a mistake, don't get frustrated, and see if you can turn it into a new kind of design. I included with this video slides of 2 different patterns. The first pattern is called verve, and the second pattern is called cadence. We are going to start with the pattern called verve. So either follow along with me or have the slides open on your computer. Make sure you're sitting in a comfortable place and start to focus on your breathing. So breathe in and out slowly and deeply. Try to make sure you're in a place that's quiet without distractions. Turn the television off. Put some headphones on. Turn on some soft and calming music, or enjoy the music that I have on this video. And try to relax your muscles. So relax your face muscles and your jaw muscles. Roll your shoulders. Just relax. Okay. We're going to choose one space to work in. I'm going to choose my biggest space. Verve is a good one for taking up a lot of space. And I'm going to follow along. There are 6 steps to verve. There's 6 boxes. And the very bottom box shows you some ways that you can add some variations. So I'm going to take a deep breath, and I am going to start with my circle. And then in the next box, I see a line that curves up, and I'm going to go all the way until I get to the edge of whatever space I created. So it almost looks like the number 6. And then I'm going to go to the top of the next one, and I'm going to curve it all the way down until I get to the edge of my space. It almost looks like the number 9. Now I'm going to choose to switch colors for the next one. You can choose to keep your color. Remember, the colors that you choose should be repeated in every pattern so that you have unity in your artwork. It's unified and tied together by your use of color. I'm going to go back under my circle, and I'm going to do a line that curves parallel to the first line, over, and I'm going to do a line that curves parallel to the second one. And as I'm breathing deeply and enjoying my music, I am going to really focus on the idea of doing anything repetitive helps your body relax. So without thinking much, I am going to add this pattern over and over Here I'm going to skip. I'm going to fill this space the best that I can, but I'm not going to cross into a new space. Almost done. I'm just going to fill it in up here so that my space continues up here. So I'm just going to fill in as if the pattern could completely go through all the way. Now that looks pretty cool. So now let's choose a new space. I'm going to work on this space, and the next thing I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do this little space here, is I'm going to work on cadence. I'm going to follow, there's 4 steps for this one, and in order to do this one, I am going to create sort of a grid of dots so they go around in like squares, and I'm going to fill the space. You can do open dots. I chose closed dots. Okay. And in between the dots, what I like to do is connect one dot to the other with an S, and an S, and an S. But I'm noticing I need to continue this S up a little bit. But the goal is to make these look like almost like boxes. So I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to connect the dots in the other direction with an S. And the reason I turned it is because it's more natural for me to draw an S up and down. So it just makes it a lot easier. Focus on the breath, making sure my feet are flat on the ground. They're comfortable. Make sure that the pattern is on the edge. And that's all for today. Save your picture. We will be filling in the other sections next month. And I hope that you enjoyed this. Next Wednesday, I'm going to post some videos about Zentangle. I hope that you enjoy them, and I hope that you enjoyed this process. I cannot wait to see your amazing patterns.